Hello, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be continuing our balance patch update biggest winners. So today we're going to be going over Sunstreaker. So his only buff was, well, in the change log, his buff was his range got increased by 4 tiles. But also what they didn't mention is his total damage also got uh, buffed up to just over the 11.5 thousand magic number, which is what you need to take out stuff like cannons and anything below. So we're going to be talking about that 11.5k magic number a little bit throughout all of these winners, because it's very important. Because if you can make the exact same bot but he's 11.4 thousand damage, not nearly as good. So ranks can get them up above that if it's literally 11.4, but let's say it's like 10.5, no good. So I think he was 9.5 before the update, and now he's up to like 11.5, so that's perfect. So at ability 11, he shoots 6 wide impact rockets, engulfing an area in flames, inflicting 974 fire damage per second for 12 seconds, which is a total of 11,683. And just like Rust Dust, reminder that ranks do increase the ability damage, but it doesn't update in the tooltip. So I have him at major, which means he's doing 11,683 times 20%. So at major he does like 14,000 damage. And if you look at the G1 core, gain 15.5% ability damage. That's the exact same as a volatile mixture core. And then if a target is destroyed within 12 seconds, flames spread to an adjacent enemy, dealing the same ability damage and for the same duration. So the way I understand it is, let's say you're attacking a lower level base. If you destroy a building in 6 seconds, the fire spreads to a nearby target, and then it keeps going for the extra 6 seconds. So that's pretty cool. And then some of you might be scratching your head. If you don't have ability 11, so the ability 11 gives a wide impact effect. So if we look at his 4-star, it just shoots 6 rockets, same as anybody else. So I'll show you the difference in a second, but he does need an ability 11 to get up to the best possible version of him, which obviously ability 11, but like it's a huge difference. They're not even the same bot, really. All right, so we're not gonna be looking at the damage or anything. We're just looking at the range, and this is a 4-star, so just how much of an area he hits. So to the MSM mines. So let's go for the center here. So it's pretty good. He can reach the missile launcher. So like if you go halfway between the missile launcher and the laser turret, he should hit both. Oh, he missed it. So you can see that's kind of the range of his missiles, right? Roughly 5 tiles. And then if we look at the ability 11, which I have on my 5-star, if we go for the same area, you'll see he'll not only hit both easily, he'll hit the spider mines, he hits more area. So if I had to guess, it's probably 9-ish. If you look up here, there's a fire dome, so don't pay attention to the damage. But if we go in the middle here, he can barely, that might be a little low. Yeah, so he can barely reach both sides. So that's a 5-tile gap. Um, so if we go like 6 tiles away from these targets, I don't think it should reach. Yeah, but you can hit the walls though, so it's close. So roughly, yeah, 9 tiles, I'd say. So that's a huge area. That is, and it's kind of insane. Um, Another popular bot that pre-patch had a wide impact was um, Optimal Optimus, and so he lost the wide impact because they kind of went over, looked at it, and was, that's crazy. So I mentioned with Rust Dust, she'll probably get not like obliterated with nerfs, but like tuned down a little bit because I think she's a little strong. I would just say the same for Sunstreaker. Um, and if I'm looking at what can like slight nerfs he can take that can bring him down a bit, but still very good, is probably the wide impact rockets. So I mentioned the normal rockets are about 5 a radius, not a radius, just they have an area effect of 5 tiles, and then wide impact rocket brings it up to roughly 9. So maybe they adjust it so it's like maybe 7. Um, so yeah, you also saw a bit of the range there. So the way I like to use these range bots, so I'm using him as a air raid replacement. So I'll go over the pros and cons of him over air raid real quick. So a lot of people are saying he's even stronger, which with how much of an area he hits, maybe. But the thing is, so air raid had the range. I'm pretty sure he had the same range as Sunstreaker has now. Um, but he does normal damage, so he doesn't have to worry about build bots. Sunstreaker does. That's one of the only cons. You need to take out the fire domes. If you don't take out the fire domes, he does like no damage. So yeah, Sunstreaker, you need to take out the fire domes. Air raid didn't, and also air raid was instant damage, so he didn't have to worry about my Cronus or anything. He can take out anything instantly. Sunstreaker can't. He's damaged over time, so I mentioned my Cronus, and especially by the shield gen, that kind of counters it. You can't use it for that. If you add a white Kremzik or maybe some acid, I think you could. Um, but just by himself, you can't. And then they both have, yeah, I think they're the same range. So Air Raid got nerfed, so Air Raid, so Sunstreaker has more range now, but Air Raid pre-nerf and Sunstreaker now have the same range. So I'll show you. If you see, this base is very popular. Um, I think I think Yoda ran it for a little bit, and then obviously everyone had to copy him, because of course. Um, so not this base specifically, but we'll throw on primary card mode. I just want to show you how I like to deal with really these just backloaded bases. Any of these work. So each little women, if you watch my war review, you see this all the time. But check for my sunmines. Get Sunstreaker down. So yeah, you have to take out the build bots. I should have brought a medic. Okay, they're alive. So now that the fire domes are down, so let's say you don't have the wide impact, you can even take out little groups at a time, kind of like how you use air raid. Costs are also pretty similar. So if you used smoke screen to take out build bots with air raid, it would cost 6 plus from smoke screen, plus the 3 plus 2 from air raid. So it's kind of like 9 plus 2. So Sunstreaker is a little bit cheaper than that. He's 6 plus 3. So until you get up to like maybe the 4th ability use. And then even if you don't have the wide impact, if you can leave like one building like this, smoke screen take care of it. See, and then as we walk across the bottom, and I probably should have brought a medic. Their low health is kind of scaring me, but just you can keep spamming it. The whole thing about these front-loaded bases is there are so many points to burn because they're kind of hoping you don't have a long range, which I don't really personally. I don't understand these bases that much. I've never really struggled with them. If you just bring a long range bot, like it was air raid before the nerfs, now Sunstreaker works. Silverbolt works too, just slightly less value. You see it, just keep walking across the bottom. You can take out the entire top side. And then I wouldn't use it more than 4 times, because then it gets kind of expensive. Unless you have to hold the whole base down. But you can see, just slowly walking across the bottom. This is all Sunstreaker. Alright, so now we'll look at the damage, see what you can do. So we've got the primary hard mode effects on. And keep in mind, these effects are easier than normal. We're still in the easy phase to let players adjust. So right now, cannons have like 10,300 health, when with the normal 25% buff, not 20, they go up to about just under 11.5. So I showed that he does 14,000 damage at major. So right now that's like 4,000 more than he needs. When the war effects go back to normal, so one, that's only 2.5 more thousand than he needs. And then also because they have more health, they'll also get healed from more, like number wise, because it's percentage based. So obviously higher health, higher number of healing. And then we also show the shield gen. And then again, just remember these are the easy war effects. So it's on the back. So with no shield gen, just my Cronus healing, you can see he out damages the Micronus. Again, at the current state, I don't think even on major he'll do that. Well, once the war effects go back to normal, and then with no Micronus with the shield gen, oh, you can see it leaves MDS as sliver of health, and then the shield gen. I don't think it should. I'm actually curious. Ooh, it does barely. So that's actually kind of insane. Alright, so now most shield gen clusters have a Micronus in them. There's just really big emphasis on this is the EC war effects, and this is a major. So if your sergeant won't be able to do that, he barely takes out the shield gen as a major. And then when the war effects go back to normal, he won't be able to. So you can see, even with these easy war effects and his major, he can't take out the shield gen when there's a Micronus into it. But if we add something like acid, it's a reminder of what acid does. It stops any healing, so Micronus healing, then it also boosts the fire damage by 20%. So if we combo those together, they should absolutely crush this shield gen cluster. And then even if I think even like a lower ranked Sunstreaker and even with the higher war effects, if you include acid or combo ability, like maybe the last gas too. So unfortunately, the ranks are so expensive you can't balance them around needing a major or even really captain. Most free-to-play players only have a limited amount. So the main emphasis should be on his range and area of effect. The damage and how that relates to current effects aren't really as important. They're nice for now, but that could easily change without even nerfing Sunstreaker. So just keep that in mind. He's good against front loader bases too, but I think
For me, my favorite use for him is he excels at long range backloaded bases. Again, for I don't really understand it, but for whatever reason, everyone seems to be running them at a top level, and then like a lot of copycats are just copying them too. So there's a lot of backloaded bases in this meta, and it just their biggest weakness is that they throw out the principles of base building out the window, and they cluster everything together. So anything in long range area of effect, like we'll just tear them apart. So that's where I think Sunstreaker comes in. I think he's really good. I was using Air Raid, but then they took his range away, so now I'm using Sunstreaker in Wars. So yeah, I hope you learned something. It hasn't been a secret. We've been openly talking about how strong he is in like public forums and stuff. But if you're still here, thanks for watching. If you learned something, please leave a like. If you keep coming back, I still would be appreciated. And I'll see you next time.